Hello everyone. Today we're diving into a crucial question. Who's really speaking for Southeast Asia's strategic interests? Did you know that Southeast Asia is the world's fifth largest economy with a combined GDP of over 3 trillion? It's also a demographic powerhouse with over 670 million consumers living in it. Despite that, Southeast Asia's interests are often overshadowed by the broader Asia Pacific or Indo-Pacific agenda driven by the United States and China. And yet, everyone talks of ASEAN centrality or ASEAN being in the driver's seat. What kind of driver is ASEAN? Is ASEAN the owner of the vehicle? Or is ASEAN the chauffeur who drives according to the instructions of the boss? Is there anyone really speaking for Southeast Asia in these crucial questions? To explore this, we shall look at two significant events that were held recently back to back. One is the 21st Shangri-la Dialogue in Singapore, and the other is the 37th Asia Pacific Roundtable held in Kuala Lumpur. These gatherings brings together people from the think tanks, strategic policy advisors, and other thinkers. The Asia Pacific Roundtable began in 1987, hosted by Malaysia's Institute of Strategic and International Studies, or ISIS. For many years, it was the sole forum for security and political dialogue in the region. When 9/11 happened, suddenly there was a vacuum for discussions on defense-related discussions. And this is what led to the birth of the Shangri-La Dialogue. Looking at the agenda of both forums, it is clear that both of them acknowledge that political security order of the region is shifting. Also evident that both of them see that the main players who will shape this order are the United States and China. The Shangri-La Dialogue, for example, both China and the US were given special or separate plenary sessions to expound on their views. Apart from that, there were specific breakout sessions that focused on Myanmar and South China Sea. The Asia Pacific Roundtable also had plenary sessions which tackled big items such as major power rivalry. But to their credit, there was also two interesting sessions. One was on the emerging economic order and another one on the rise of regional powers. I thought these two sessions added more value. The Asia Pacific Roundtable also had a plenary session on ASEAN, but I thought it lacked depth. There was not too much time given to discussions on Myanmar and South China Sea. It sadly missed an opportunity to have deeper discussion on both these issues, particularly as Malaysia is gearing up to be the chairman of ASEAN in 2025. But interestingly, the Asia Pacific Roundtable had dedicated one entire plenary session to the conflict in the Middle East. But oddly, there was no discussion at all on the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. But both forums deserve praise for including discussions on artificial intelligence. I think this is a vital conversation to have today in how artificial intelligence can shape perceptions and even how future warfare would look like. In a surprising turn of events, President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine turned up at the Shangri-La Dialogue. It was apparently a last-minute decision. He spoke about an upcoming peace conference that will be held in Switzerland soon. So what are the key takeaways from both these forums? Key takeaway number one, the United States and China have fundamentally different visions of the emerging order. Thus far, there is no middle ground. The United States, which refers to the region as the Indo-Pacific, spoke about a series of networks of partnership that goes beyond its traditional alliance relationships in the region. China, for its part, refers to the region still as Asia Pacific. And interestingly, the Chinese minister, in describing China's role in this region, used the pronoun we, implying that somehow China is speaking for the whole region, and also perhaps implying that the states in the region are somehow aligning themselves with China. Clearly, both superpowers are trying to present an image that they are in control of the region when they're really not. Key takeaway number two, China made it abundantly clear that Taiwan is the core of its interest in the region. It warned America against selling arms to Taiwan. It also warned against this salami slicing tactic of trying to hollow out the one China policy by gradually pushing and supporting the separatist movements in Taiwan. Key takeaway number three, I think there is significant risk of armed conflict between the Philippines and China today in the disputed areas in the South China Sea. The Philippines warned China against the risk of using water cannons. If its citizens were killed, that would come very, very close to an act of war. China, for its part, accused Philippines of being insincere by bringing the 9 issue to the International Court of Arbitration. Key takeaway number 4. On Myanmar, apparently the discussions are now going towards more intrastate intervention in Myanmar itself. Key takeaway number 5. Everyone agrees that the conflicts in the Middle East and in Ukraine are of concern, and also, of course, supportive to resolve these conflicts as quickly as possible. So, some final thoughts. The robust discussions points to a significant gap. Despite Southeast Asia's points economic and political importance, it finds itself in a reactive position rather than being directly involved in shaping discussions about its own future. So, the question that I asked at the beginning is still unanswered. Let's continue this important conversation. And do not forget to check out my other videos as well.